Hello, welcome you all to the video, and welcome to Season 4 of this Outlaws series. We will be taking 4 questions for GM Rev today. We're going to start with Brett Polikoff with ESPN.
After 2 years of disappointment in the postseason, what do you say to the doubters?
Obviously the doubters, everyone's going to have doubters, but I think that's just a part of the trials and tribulations. Obviously, you as an organization, you need to gain experience. I always like to use the Milwaukee Bucks as an example. They were title contenders for 2 seasons straight and had a conference finals appearance and then a second round exit before they won a championship. Trials and tribulations are they're kind of a part of growing as an organization. So what I say to the doubters, I don't really have anything to say to the doubters because it's not like their opinion's invalid. It's a fair take to think that we're not built for championships, that we're not going to win a championship. It's fair because we haven't proven otherwise. But I hope I answered your question, but I really think it's all I can really say to the doubters because it's just a part of trials and tribulations of building an organization to a championship caliber team.
The second question will go to Kurt Helen with the Las Vegas Post. This is a big off-season for you. With only 4 guys under contract, how are you approaching this off-season?
Yeah, we have 4 guys under contract, but if you think about it, we have Paolo, Nicola, and Dyson all have 2-year team options, so we can bring them back for relatively team-friendly deals. And then you got Emmanuel Quickly, Kobe White, and Patrick Williams. We have all 3 of their bird rights, and all 3 are restricted, and that's really our core right there. We already have Jaron, Precious, DeAndre, and Matisse all under contract already, so I think bringing back our core is not going to be difficult. It's just going to be a matter of how we divvy up our money, because with Chris Paul retiring, we have $40 million extra in cap. So we just got to be careful how we manage that and what contracts we give to our guys. If we can get any of our guys on the qualifying offer, that would be a steal. But yeah, it's not going to be too difficult of an offseason. 4 guys under contract is kind of like looking at it with no context. We have guys on restricted free agents. We have team options. We have bird rights. It's 4 guys under contract. I feel like just looking at it with no context.
The third question will go to Steve Ashburner with the Las Vegas Daily News.
With Chris Paul retiring, how does that affect your plans?
I don't think it really affects our plans too much, purely because me and Chris had this conversation about him retiring halfway through the season. He brought it up to me, and then we broke it to the media as an organization. So I feel like I already have a plan for how I want to carry out this offseason, who I want to bring in, who I want to have return, who I want to give what. I feel like I had a ton of time to plan that because Chris Paul was absolutely 100% transparent with me and a really professional dude. I think, yeah, it won't really affect too much. Obviously, Chris Paul leaving is going to be rough, but yeah, he was 100% transparent with us and transparent with the organization and ownership. So it's pretty easy to plan around that when your guy leaving he lets you know ahead of time. It's obviously really easy to game plan.
You have time for one more?
Yeah, last one.
Alright, thank you, sir. And the final question will go to Melissa Smith. What are your plans with your lottery
We have
pick?
a lottery pick? Minnesota, I wasn't aware that we had a chance in the lottery. I knew we got a first-round pick from Minnesota, but I wasn't aware that there was a lottery pick. So, obviously that's cool. We can figure out how we want to deal with that pick. If we want to draft someone, because I know this draft class is pretty nice. If we want to draft someone, if we want to trade it for another asset. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, but I honestly had no idea we had a lottery pick. I assumed that Minnesota pick wasn't going to be great because I assumed Minnesota were a good organization, but I guess I should pay attention to the lower half of the Western Conference more. No slight to Minnesota, but I feel like maybe I should pay attention to the lower half of the West a little bit more. Yeah, the lottery pick, I'm not too sure. We've done scouting in the draft class. I know a few guys who I'd like to have in the organization, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. All right. Hope you enjoy the video. Hope I broke the fourth wall. I did it. I broke the fourth wall. Enjoy the video, you beautiful people.
Got a cardi on me popping when I shoot, I never miss. She gon' ask if I'm in love, I never lie, plead the fifth. Only want me cause I'm icy and I'm pricey with the fit.
Okay, so I've let the emotions cool down after that disappointment second round exit in the last episode. We're back with another episode of the Las Vegas Outlaws series on the channel. Before I do get started, as always, make sure you show some love down below. It's free, it only helps the community grow, but only do it if you enjoy, so you can enjoy yourself while you're here. Let's go. So today's episode is going to be interesting. It's going to be tough as well because player retirements, top of the list is the man himself, Chris Paul. Now, do I wish I traded him earlier? No, because even though I knew he was retiring, our aim was a championship, and he was the guy for us that was leading our offense. Now, we'll talk about our roster after that. I want to go over player retirements first. Trevor Ariza calls it a career at 39. Kyle Lowry calls it a career at 38 in Cleveland. Dwight Howard retires. Brooke Lopez retires. Brooke Lopez and Kyle Lowry were teammates, both in their late 30s in Cleveland. That's kind of funny. Drew Holiday retires a Charlotte Hornet at 34 years old. Derrick Rose retires a Pacer. Danny Green retires a Pelican. Serge Ibaka retires as a Piston. Anderson Varejao? Anderson Varejao still in the league. That's crazy. John Wall retires. You see the rest of the retirements here. Boogie Cousins calls it a career with the Lakers. There's holy shiitake. There's a lot of guys retiring. Okay. And then paying tribute to two players who retired that had Hall of Fame careers. Chris Paul and Dwight Howard both get inducted into the Hall of Fame as first ballot Hall of Famers. Chris Paul playing 1,330 games throughout his career, averaging 18 points per game, 4 rebounds, 9 assists, 2 steals. Dwight Howard, with 1,259 games played in his career, averaged 16, 12, an assist and a half, a steal, and 2 blocks over the entirety of his NBA career as well. And then jersey retirements. Chris Paul gets his jersey retired by the Clippers. Kyle Lowry gets his jersey retired by the Raptors. And Dwight Howard gets his jersey retired by the Magic. So next up is the draft lottery. And I've been looking at some of the guys in the draft, but I don't think drafting is going to be our best bet, purely because we are in the mode of win now. We have a budding star in DeAndre Ayton and a budding star in Jaren Jackson Jr. So I don't think our goal is going to be to rebuild. We're still going to look at the draft lottery here, and we somehow have a lottery pick via Minnesota. That's going to be, oh, we got the 12th pick in the draft. Okay, we're going to address that here in a second, but coaching. We've been under the tenure of Stephen Silas for a while now. Now, he brought us a finals appearance, but this second round exit was very disappointing. He has 2 years left on his deal. I think I'm going to keep Stephen Silas around for another year just because he's shown that he can get us to the finals. Even though we lost, he's shown he can get us to the finals, so we're going to keep him around. We do want to bring in another perimeter defense coach, which I don't know who we can bring in for perimeter defense. There's Edward Bishop. Sure, we're going to go for Edward Bishop, throw him a deal. But the head coaches, there are some good candidates. There's Quinn Snyder, who is an A+ offensive. Okay, he's a good coach, pace and space coach. There's Jacob Underwood. There's Trent Peterson. There's Ty Lue, Nate McMillan, Jeff Hornacek. There's a good amount of coaches, but Stephen Silas has given me no reason to fire him besides his second round disappointment. He's given me no reason to fire him. We have the kombucha, by the way. I forgot to say that. We got the kombucha on deck. When I was looking at perimeter defense coach, the only reason I thought about it was because there's Tibbs right there, and Nick Nurse is there too. So if I was able to get Tibbs to be our head coach, or even Nick Nurse, that would be so clutch. But when I go to candidates, they're not there. So, oh, they are there. Nick Nurse is there. Okay. And John Longstaff, one of the assistant coaches of the Bucks, and Doc Rivers. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is throw a contract at Nick Nurse. We're firing Stephen Silas. We've done it. We fired Stephen Silas. I'm throwing a bag at Nick Nurse $3.48 million. I don't know if he's going to accept that. I don't think he's going to accept. He rejected. Okay, so right now we're out of a head coach, but there are some other head coaches here we can throw deals at. That would be an upgrade from Steven Silas. Steven Silas is still there. His 7 seconds or less offensive style worked for a bit, but we're going in a new direction. So I brought in a new coach in Barry Cartwright. He's an overall better, he's just a better coach overall. His attributes are a lot higher than Steven Silas's, whereas a coach, his charisma is through the roof. His basketball IQ is 5 stars. Steven Silas was about a D in most spots in this game and a B- in offensive coaching, so he wasn't a great head coach for us. And Barry Cartwright is a ton better at literally everything. He is better at everything, and he is elite at most things. Plus, he's a pace and space coach, with Steven Silas being a 7 seconds or less coach. So Barry Cartwright, I definitely feel like is going to be an upgrade. There's a few other spots I want to hire some guys at, but right now, I think we're in a really good spot. So my next plan of action for this offseason, now we don't have a ton of players under contract, but we have the 12th overall pick in the first round of the draft, and we have a few guys that I wouldn't mind moving, i.e. Jaren Jackson. So I feel like in terms of his progression, he's getting closer to peaking. His potential isn't in the 90s like DeAndre Ayton's is. Who knows? Maybe his boom or bust potential is real, or that he has the same potential as Jaren Jackson. But I feel like in terms of stats and production, though, he's really plateaued. He had a horrendous season. 17 points per game on 39% from the field, on 30% from three. He had a good season in his first year in Vegas, but he regressed with the acquisition of DeAndre Ayton, which is kind of expected. But DeAndre Ayton improved in his season here in Vegas. So as much as it pains me to get rid of Jaren Jackson, I'm gonna put him on the block. We're gonna put Jaren Jackson, the 12th overall pick, and we're also gonna throw in Matisse Thybulle. That was not expected. Okay. So as much as I want to trade our pick, none of the trades... Actually, let's look. These are the trades we're getting for our pick. Now, some of these trades are definitely worth doing, but I feel like in terms of cap space, I want to get a big ticket free agent in the free agency market. So a lot of these trades wouldn't really help me. I mean, they would help us in terms of personnel, but I want to conserve cap space. So I'm leaning towards Darius Bazley. He's a young budding star. That's Scooter Henderson. I thought it said Shooter Henderson. I was like, bro, his name is Shooter. Okay, and especially in this MyLeague save where I have where I have a lot of trade restrictions enabled, where I have to hold on to players for the 30 days or the 60 days after I acquire them. I don't want to make a trade out of impulse and then be disappointed later on in their performance. So I really have to dig deep in these trades and figure out who I want to actually trade for and who I actually really want to keep long term. But I'm not seeing guys I would like to keep long term. I see a few trades. I don't really want to take this pick. I see a few trades I like this Hamidou Diallo trade isn't bad, but I think I'm leaning Darius Bazley, even though that $9.72 million isn't ideal. So to conserve cap space, we're just going to take a draft pick and then trade the player that if we don't like the player, we'll trade him later. So I'm gonna look. Wow, there's been a lot of stuttering in this recording. I'm gonna look through this draft class and see if I can find someone that I could use or that I could trade as a solid asset. So I guess let's just look through these guys and see if there's anyone that intrigues or piques my interest. So the guy I'm going to go with is the top ranked guy at the moment, which is we're just drafting best available, Lawrence Wesley. He reminds me a lot of Dyson Daniels. He's an oversized player for his position. He's 6'9" at the 3, and he has an A+ 3-point shot, just like Dyson Daniels. This is literally the only reason I'm drafting him, because I have a history at this point in developing players into solid shooters. So Danilo Gallinari is his ceiling, Nick Young's his floor. It's not insanely great. We're not going to talk like Gallo hasn't been a really good player in this league, but Lawrence Wesley is going to be my pick. I feel like either if we can't get rid of him, that he could be a decent bench player for us. He can shoot the rock at a high clip. The point is, I think he can be useful to us in the future. So we get Lawrence Wesley on a 2-year, $8 million deal, which is what I was looking for. He's a 76 overall, which actually is not bad, especially for him being in his first year. We're going to pick up Jovic and Dyson Daniels on their 2-year team options, and we're going to pick up Paolo Bancheros as well, just to keep our depth together. Dyson Daniels still growing, which is absolutely beautiful. He's only gotten better as we've given him more minutes, so I'm hoping as his usage continues to climb, he'll get better. Nikola Jovic, I don't know how to explain. His in terms of scoring, he's gotten better, but his efficiency is absolutely hot garbage. So we're gonna have to look at Jovic at some point and figure out if he has a future on this team. And then Paolo Banchero, also not great efficiency, but it also was just about average. So I'm not upset about keeping Paolo Banchero around. The only reason I'm upset about Jovic is because he's a borderline starter for us, and he's been absolutely hot garbage. So Jovic might be on the block if we can get a decent suitor for him, or someone gives us something good in return. We'll figure that out later, because honestly at this point we're keeping him around for a really cheap contract, so I'm not too concerned. Patrick Williams and Emmanuel Quickley are both restricted. That is good to know. I'm going to give them both their qualifying offers, so they will both be restricted free agents. Not saying I'm going to re-sign them, depending how much money they do want, but we should have a bunch of money. Let me look. So I guess it turns out, even with Chris Paul retiring on $40 million a year, we don't have money. We just don't have money. So it looks like we're just going to have to go to the affordable section. I guess we do have a bunch of players that are restricted free agents that we're going to bring back. Emmanuel Quickley, I guess, since he's restricted, and we don't have his bird rights, but we can somehow afford him. Wait, we do have his bird rights. I was looking at the completely wrong player. Since we have Kobe White and Emmanuel Quickley's bird rights, we're going to bring both of them back on some decent contracts. And Emmanuel Quickley's restricted, so we can pay him whenever we want. I would love to bring in a guy like Devin Booker, Tyrese Halliburton, Jaylen Brown, DeJounte Murray, LaMelo Ball, but we just don't have the money, and a bunch of them are restricted. But I am definitely planning to make some trades. So we're definitely going to make a big splash in the trade market. We just need to get our assets back under contract. All right, so concluding our free agency, we bring back Emmanuel Quickley and Kobe White. Emmanuel Quickley back on the qualifying offer, and then Kobe White on a 4-year, $24 million salary deal. Patrick Williams also comes back on an absolute bag, but I'm planning on shipping Patrick Williams. Dyson Daniels still on his team option. Paolo Banchero and Jovic back on their 2-year team options as well. I'm thinking about shipping Precious Achiuwa just because of that contract. I bring in Dorian Finney-Smith as a 3-and-D type of guy off the bench, A- 3-point rating, B+ perimeter defense. He's going to be absolutely crucial for us in our new pace and space system. He's going to be massive. And then Lawrence Wesley, the rookie. I think I got blue-balled with that A+ 3-point shooting, but it's okay. He's a really good offensive player, so we're going to keep him around. Josh Richardson, another 3-and-D guy off the bench. Matisse Thybulle, a defensive guy off the bench. So we're going really heavy on defense this season, even though not a lot of these guys will play a ton of minutes. It's going to be a big part of our team. The pace and space, you also want a ton of defense as well. So having 3-and-D guys who can do it both. Dyson Daniels can do it. Jovic can do it. His 3-point rating's up to a B-, which is beautiful. Kobe White can play. Oh, that's Patrick Williams. Patrick Williams is 3-and-D. Kobe White can play he's serviceable on defense. Dorian Finney-Smith, Lawrence Wesley's iffy on defense, but Josh Richardson can do it. So we went for that mold. But I want to see if I can trade Patrick Williams, because that contract could get us a really nice player. I know I said Kobe White was going to start, but this trade is appetizing. This trade is appetizing with Jovic slumping. He's kind of plateaued. Ja Morant. I have to pull the trigger on that deal, even if it means Jovic is leaving. We have guys who can play his role off the bench. Let's keep it real. We have guys who can play Jovic's role and play it better off the bench. He's on the last year of his deal. He is on a team option, but who cares? Who cares, right? Jaren Jackson. Much love to Jaren Jackson. He's been crucial. But we're going to send him back to Memphis because Ja Morant, bro. I can't pass up on Ja. Pairing up Ja Morant and DeAndre Ayton. Now that is lethal. Player progression, DeAndre Ayton is up to a 92. Ja Morant's a 90. We now have that elite dynamic duo in Ja Morant and DeAndre Ayton. We went from Jaren Jackson and Michael Porter Jr. to Ja Morant and DeAndre Ayton, with Emmanuel quickly still on the squad, Kobe White still on the squad, Patrick Williams on the squad, not for long. I plan on shipping that contract because that contract is absolutely ridiculous, especially for his potential. Dyson Daniels still on the squad. Him and Ja Morant in that backcourt is going to be nice, even though Dyson's going to be playing the three. Paolo Banchero, we got him to come back. Precious Achiuwa's up to an 80. He's making $13 million a year, so he's going to have to step it up. Zaire Williams, I didn't even realize we got Zaire Williams. He's going to be nice. Two-way tempo pusher. Love it. Love it. Lawrence Wesley, going to be a shot creator off the bench. Don't know how much he's going to play for us because we have 3 backup small forwards, 4, 5, 6 backup small forwards, so we're really heavy at the small forward position. I wasn't even thinking about that. But depth is never a problem. Too many players is a good problem to have. I also want to check in on Elton Cannon. It's been a while since I've checked in on Elton Cannon. Elton Cannon's up to a 78 overall in his... Oh, he's on his final year in Utah. Could he be on the move? All right, so our Season 4 rotation is looking like this. Ja Morant, Emmanuel Quickly, Dyson Daniels, Paolo Banchero, and DeAndre Ayton. Now, I think this is our best roster we've ever had. I'm saying that every season, but I feel like Ja Morant is going to get a lot more love from the 2K sim, 25 points per game, and he's only going to get better. He's becoming more efficient by the year. I think we're going to win a championship this year. Ja Morant and DeAndre Ayton with a phenomenal supporting cast. We got shooters on shooters around DeAndre Ayton. Paolo Banchero's the only one who's iffy. Patrick Williams can play that starting 4 role. We got shooters on shooters off the bench, not named Precious Achiuwa and Zaire Williams. Everyone else is elite from behind the 3-point line. I'm really confident in this team, but it sucks we won't see them till Friday. But that's going to wrap this one up. I'm happy with the team. I'm really happy with the team. I think this might be our best roster yet. Ja Morant, I think he's going to be the needle mover. All right. If you enjoyed this, always make sure to show some love down below. It's free. It only helps our community here grow. You're beautiful. I love you. We're on the road to 1K. Show some love for the YouTube algorithm so more people can see it. Come on now. You're beautiful. Peace.
Ain't it obvious? I just got the check for depositing. $750 for the sound wave to get it processed. Won't stop to that shit. Weighing down my pockets. My main things to my main thing. She a blossom. When she eats the pain with the brain, she a doctor. She open up anything thicker than the plot gets. Swear that shit is awesome.